Good morning. Hey, I'm Dr. Jim Hoven from Ramos Law and your host for Health Matters. Today, I'm going to talk about sleep. Sleep's critical in your health and in your recovery. So stay tuned. Let's go for it. We all know what we need to do to get better after an injury, right? We think of things like we got to ice it, rest, compression, elevation, that RICE formula. We know that we might have to take some medications. We know that we could get some treatment of care, whether it's your medical doctor, physical therapist, chiropractor, acupuncturist. We think of all these things, but have you ever thought of the role that sleep plays? If you haven't, it's time to actually wake up and think about it. Now, here's the deal with sleep. Sleep is one of those things that we all need a little different amount of, but on average, we need 7 to 8 hours a night if you're most of us. Some people can get away, and actually Dr. Ramos from the firm here is one of these guys that you can do 4 hours of sleep to 6 hours of sleep a night, and he can function just fine. But the research shows that that is 1% of us. So it's probably not you. It's definitely not me, and it's probably not you. We need to get more sleep. Sleep is critical because when we sleep, it's like resetting the mind and resetting the body. If you can't sleep, we're going to have to address that because you're not going to heal properly or long term if you don't get that under control. So let's go back to what sleep does. When we sleep, when we rest, we allow everything to reboot. So we get all the pressure off of our spine. We're no longer fighting against gravity, standing like I am now, or sitting like you might be doing right now or at work. We also give our mind a chance to kind of erase. Think of an Etch-a-Sketch. When we take an Etch-a-Sketch and we just shake it up and it clears it, that's what our mind gets to do. It's a reboot. Now we're still thinking, that's why we dream, and so our mind is still very much active, but it's in more of a dormant state than when our conscious mind is up taking us around, because all of the thoughts and the impulses and the stimulus that we get every day, it can get overwhelming, and we don't want that. So we really need to get that rest. If you're having a hard time resting, there's a few things that you can do that might help. Number one, stop the electronics before bed. Now, for some of you, this might be difficult because you might have TVs and screens and all this kind of stuff in your room. And if you do, and you're having a hard time sleeping, first thing to do, turn those off and stop the electronics up to 2 hours. You're gonna have to investigate and see what works best for you, but it might take as long as 2 hours for your brain to unwind from all the electronics. The other thing you can do is try beta blocker or blue blocker glasses in that last little bit, because it's the wavelength from some of the screens that can mess you up from sleep. Another thing that you can do if you're not sleeping well is you can take a notepad, have it by your bed, because for some of us, once we wake up, our mind starts working and it's hard to go back to sleep. All you got to do is take a notepad and start just jotting down those ideas, or maybe if your phone is next to you, just do a voice memo where you put that thought into your phone, but it's recorded and it's on paper or on your phone and out of your head. When you can get your mind clear, it can allow you to go back to sleep. Another thing, this is kind of an interesting trick. If you're having a hard time going back to sleep, you can start thinking about what you had done in the day, literally just reporting the events of the day, starting from the end of the day and working your way backwards. So in other words, I had dinner with my family, I got home from work, I drove home, and your mind will apparently get really bored. I've not tried this one, so this is one that I read about. Your mind will get bored and kind of let you go back to sleep. Another one that works for me if I'm having trouble sleeping, because sometimes I go to sleep super good, but I might have a problem staying asleep, is I will pull out my phone and I will put on a meditation, and I will just listen to the meditation on sleep. So you can Google it and a million of these sleep videos will come, or sleep meditations can come out, and you can just listen to those, and that can help you fall asleep. Another thing, don't eat too soon before going to bed. Try to give your body a chance to digest food. Not only does it help you sleep, but it's also good to help you not put on weight and to not change blood sugar levels, that kind of stuff. So limit your diet towards at least 2 hours before bed. So that's another really good sleep measure for you. Now, if you put all those things together and you're still having problems, especially if you've had trauma, it could be that you have a concussion or an MTBI, which stands for mild traumatic brain injury. And if so, that's something that you need to get checked out. So you can talk to your primary care, your chiropractor, your physical therapist, whomever, let them know if you're not sleeping after trauma, because it may be that we have to get some other testing done. Oh, by the way, one more thing, sleep apnea. If you're having a lot of problems snoring or difficulty sleeping, get a sleep test to see if you have sleep apnea, because that is a huge one for helping people get better quality sleep. Better sleep means better healing, means a better life. So go get under the covers. Oh, one more thing, bonus. Take a nappuccino. This is something I learned from a guy named Daniel Pink. Nappuccino, if you can get a 20-minute nap in the daytime, take a little bit, if you're a coffee drinker, drink a little bit of coffee right before your nap. Then it takes about 25 minutes for the caffeine to kick in. You can sleep for 20 minutes, and when you get up, ready for action. So hopefully those tips help you have a great, successful night's sleep. Nighty-night.